Top 20 turning points in world history. You know the rules, robots paint, you guess. I do give a few clues along the way to help you out. Top 20 turning points in world history. Good luck. Humans stopped hunting and gathering and started farming. Led to the development of permanent settlements. This allowed for the population growth and rise of civilizations. What was the turning point? Crops and domesticated animals became essential for survival. This shift marked the beginning of human societies as we know them. Yeah, doctor's got the exact correct answer. The agricultural revolution. Yeah. And that was around 10,000 BCE. So that was a good turning point, right? So now you get the way it's played. Now you get the way it's played. That was a pretty big one. This shift marked the beginning of human societies as we know them. Wheat and barley were some of the first crops cultivated during this period. So they had beer early on. There you go. Tetro, what's up, man? All right, here we go. Number 19 on the turning points in history. One of the earliest written legal codes in history. Created by a Babylonian king. Babylonian. Established the principle of an eye for an eye. Correct, doctor. Girl. You guys got it. Pretty impressive. Inscribed on a massive stone for all to see. It set the foundation for modern legal systems. Did you know that? So this is the very top of the stone that they're showing here, and then the whole code was all the way around the cylinder as you go down. So if I would have showed you that, you would have gotten it better, right? You would have known then. Who knows the year? Anybody know the year? Of the Hammurabi Code. Code of Hammurabi. Legal code. First legal code. Yeah, that was pretty impressive. Who knows the year? Anybody? Not that old. Not that old. Remember, these are kind of in chronological, so we're going to get closer and closer. 1754 BCE. Each one, so chronological, getting closer to the modern day. Closer to now. Number 18. The idea that citizens should govern themselves. First developed in an ancient Greek city-state. Turning points in history. Required male citizens to vote directly on laws. Yeah, Tetro, I think that's the answer we're looking for. I mean, it's not the full answer, I would say. It's pretty much the answer we're looking for. Influence modern democratic governments. The term means rule by the people. So yeah, the birth of democracy. The birth of democracy in, where was it? Where was the birth of democracy? In what year? Anybody know? Where was it? And when was it? This is the birth of democracy. Athens is correct. And And it was 5th century BC. So not that long ago, 5th century. So when you're going backwards, how's that work? 400s, I guess? No. Does it work the same? Or did the 600s? That's a little bit too much of a mind twist. All right, number 17. A young king who never lost a battle. His empire stretched from Greece to India. Correct, Doctor. Correct, Stuart. Correct, Tetra. Everybody's correct. What would you say is the full answer I'm looking for? What is, on Jeopardy, what is, his sudden death left his empire divided. His name is still used for cities today. The city of Alexandria in Egypt is one of over 20 cities named after him. So we're looking for the date, of course, and the actual name, the name of the turning point I was looking for is the conquests of Alexander the Great, is the great turning point that he created such a large empire, I guess. And it was in 4th century BC. 4th century. Just 100 years after the birth of democracy. No sooner do we get democracy than Alexander has to go and blow the whole thing. Number 16. Key points in history. This marked the end of ancient Rome. Well, that's kind of it. Led to the beginning of the Middle Ages in Europe. Barbarian invasions played a major role. The empire's capital was sacked by Germanic tribes. The collapse left Europe divided into small kingdoms. So the official answer from history we're looking for is burning of Rome was one event within the key historical event that actually did unfold over a period of time. But there was a date, and probably the burning of Rome was this date. It is the fall of the Western Roman Empire, and that's a key thing, the Western Roman Empire. And the year was 476 CE. 476, the fall of the Western Roman Empire, a key event in history. The Eastern Roman Empire, Byzantine Empire, continued for nearly 1,000 years more. So that's why, it's important to say the fall of the Western Roman Empire. Little did you know. Next up. Okay, important turning points in history. Number 15. A new religious movement that emerged in the Arabian Peninsula. It led to the creation of a vast and powerful empire. What is this? It introduced new advancements in science, medicine, and philosophy. Yeah, basically. So the historical event is... Hey, you have to read my mind to properly get these. The Holy Book is written in Arabic. The Islamic Golden Age produced breakthroughs in algebra, medicine, and astronomy. Well, so they're the guys who invented algebra. That wasn't a good thing. So the turning point in history that I was looking for is the spread of Islam. 7th century CE. So that was the glory days. All the way to Spain, right? How how long did they own Spain? Quite a while. Quite a while. That's number 15. All right, here's a key event. This is a single event. A document that limited the power of a king. So that was the thing, right? That was the new thing. Signed in England after a rebellion by a nobleman. And if anybody knows the date of this, that's kind of an important thing too. Influenced modern constitutional law. That's correct. You have it correct, Doctor. Now, so it was the signing of the Magna Carta. Correct, Stuart. Stuart had it too. And what was the year? Anybody know? Key event, right? Established the idea that rulers, kings, are not above the law. Its name means Great Charter. Very good. But, you know, it's not 12:15 yet. In my time, it's 8:21. 12:15 is exactly correct. How'd you know that? Its name means Great Charter. The Magna Carta inspired the U.S. Constitution and the Bill of Rights. So way back in 1215 CE, that was a turning point in history. Here's another turning point in history. After that, one of the deadliest pandemics in human history. It wiped out nearly a third of Europe's population. It spread rapidly through fleas and rats. Yeah, I think Black Plague is probably right, Rhombus. That sounds good. Black Death is even more precise. But it was the bubonic plague, right? Isn't that basically what it was? It led to major economic and social changes. It's also known, yes, today as the bubonic plague. So that's what it was. There you go. Good job. You guys all got that one. You know your pandemics. Some medieval doctors wore bird-like masks. Like, you know why they had those masks? You know why they had those beaks on there? Who knows? They put all these herbs and stuff in there, like plants and things inside there, and they thought the germs would fall in there, be killed by the herbs, be trapped in the beak. I guess. I don't know. Anyway, yes, Black Death. 1350 CE. There you go. All right, next key event in history, turning point, some might say. It marked the end of the Byzantine Empire. So remember the Western Roman Empire fell, now the Byzantine fell. It led to the rise of the Ottoman Empire. A massive walled city was conquered by cannons and strategy. It shifted trade routes and changed the world history. The city was later named. So what was this event? It marked the end of the Byzantine Empire. Yeah, Rhombus, exactly correct. Exactly correct. Exactly correct. The fall of Constantinople is the official name in history that they call it. The Hagia Sophia, a famous church in Constantinople, was turned into a mosque after the conquest. So it was those Muslims, Islam, that took over. And it actually led to the rise of what they call the Ottoman Empire. There you go. Fall of Constantinople, 1453. Busy time. Busy time. All right, another key event in history. A European explorer set sail looking for Asia. Landed in the Caribbean instead. Better vacation. Opened the New World to European colonization. Correct. Now, what would I be looking for a complete answer for turning point in history? His voyages led to a massive global changes. He sailed with 3 ships. Who knows the 3 ships? I think we all know the year, 1492. Columbus sailed the ocean blue. Cristobal Colon, I believe. Cristobal Colon, I think. I could be mistaken. So the name I was looking for is Christopher Columbus's Voyage to the Americas. How about that? That's revisionist history. Columbus never actually set foot on the mainland of North America. Never. Never did. Nina, Pinta, and Santa Maria Rhombus is correct. His 3rd trip, he was banned and imprisoned because he killed too many people. Yeah, there was controversy involved. So soon thereafter, something else happened over in good old Europe. It was started by a German monk challenging the Catholic Church. His 95 theses criticized indulgences and church corruption. Not Hitler. This is before Hitler. 1517. Sparked religious wars across Europe. That's cool, right? It's always good to start wars across Europe. His name was Martin Luther, but what was the event? What do we call that in history? We call this event something. We call it something. The printing press helped spread Luther's ideas quickly. Now, what do we call this thing? It started in 1517. Well, Great Schism, yeah, it was called that, I guess. It was called that. But it has a more prominent name. And even I know this. Plus, Medal. Medal's in the house. This was the Protestant Reformation. That ring a bell? Protestant Reformation. Anyway, you guys all knew it, but, we're trying to be precise around here. Because we always are. That's what the channel's all about. Precision in history. All right, number 9. What would be the name of this event? Or revolution, we'd call it. A period of major discoveries in physics, astronomy, and biology. Challenged traditional views of the universe. It included thinkers like Galileo, Newton, and Kepler. They were all part of this revolution. Introduced the idea that knowledge should be based on observation and experiment. There's another key clue. Very good, Tetro. Very good. That is the correct answer. It led to modern science as we know it. That's right, it's the scientific revolution. And according to the robots, it happened for a long time, 16th to 18th century. So there's no more science. The science happened between 16th and 18th century. Fun fact, Galileo was put on trial for suggesting that the Earth orbits the sun. Yeah, there you go. That's a fun fact. Number 8. Key events in history with moving forward in time. This was near and dear to all us Americans. A war for independence from British rule, sparked by unfair taxes and a lack of representation. It featured famous figures like George Washington and Thomas Jefferson. It inspired other revolutions around the world. Correct. Stuart, I think you have that first. You guys are starting to get it. We're about ready to go back and do the Founding Fathers again. It's about time. The American Revolution, of course. 1775 to 1783. Cool. The Declaration of Independence was signed on July 4th, 1776, but not everyone signed it on that day. Did you know that? Some people signed it later. Is that legal? Still, I think it's legal. The American Revolution, a key turning point in history. We're down to number 7. And remember now, the American Revolution inspired other revolutions. So, next up. Overthrew the monarchy in France. Introduced the ideas of liberty, equality, and fraternity. Led to the execution of King Louis and Queen Marie Antoinette. Correct. Let's see, who had it first? Rhombus had it first, I think, and everybody got that one pretty close together. I like the way Alex types it better than you guys. So we're going to give Alex some credit for that. Let's see, it resulted in the rise, but it did result in the rise of Napoleon Bonaparte. So it kind of created a gap. The revolution's symbol was the guillotine. Did you know that? The symbol of the revolution is the guillotine. I don't know, that's quirky. The French Revolution inspired many modern democratic movements worldwide. So the American Revolution and then the French Revolution inspired lots of revolutions. Still to this day, no doubt. Yeah. All right, we are doing turning points in history. Turning points in history. They're a little harder to draw, aren't they? Now, this one's a little different. The revolution, and it transformed economies with machines and factories. It led to urbanization and mass production. It changed transportation with railroads and steam engines. No, it's not the Renaissance. That was a long time ago. We didn't even list the Renaissance, did we? It's kind of like scientific revolution was mixed in there. Yes, you're correct, Robus. You have it. But now, it's that smoke that you guys finally noticed. That you knew it was the Industrial Revolution. The Industrial Revolution marked the beginning of modern industry. 18th to 19th centuries. So this happened late 1700s through the 1800s. There you go. The first factories were powered by water before steam took over. They used to have some machines that were run by just water pressure. Pretty weird. But then the steam. When the steam came along, that changed everything. The Industrial Revolution. All right, we are down to the top 5 turning points in history. Now we're staying in sequence, believe it or not. A movement to end forced labor and human trafficking. It was inspired by ideas of equality and human rights. Britain and the US were among the major countries to outlaw it. Former enslaved people like Frederick Douglass became key activists. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, free. I guess free the slaves is it. So, Rhombus, you barely beat Stuart there, but I like Stuart's wording. Abolition of slavery is what I was looking for. Maddow had it too. Free the slaves. The abolition of slavery, 19th century. The British slave trade was abolished in 1807. Did you know that? The British did it first. 1834. Well, here it says 1807, but maybe it was in different sequences. Oh, wait. Here we go. You're right. The British slave trade was abolished in 1807, but slavery itself wasn't fully outlawed until 1833, which I don't know how that works, but anyway. Okay, next turning point in history. A global war triggered by the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand. There's a song about that, right? Fight between the Allies and the Central Powers. That was the name, Central Powers. I like that. Introduced trench warfare and chemical weapons. The ugly war. Yes, you are all correct. Maddow, Rhombus, Stuart. This is World War I. It led to the collapse of several empires, never to be seen again. The Treaty of Versailles officially ended it. Archduke Ferdinand. World War I helped bring about the first widespread use of airplanes in combat. Did you know that? Now, who knows the years of the war? From 19-something to 19-something. Who knows? What were the years of World War I? Anybody know? Yeah, excellent band. Excellent. Oh, so the band's called Franz Ferdinand, not the song. That's right. I thought it was the song. Yes, 14 to 18 is correct. That's correct. Well, so if number 4 was World War I, what's number 3? Did you know this? Number 3 was the deadliest conflict in human history. And it started when Germany invaded Poland. Correct, of course. It included events like the Holocaust and the atomic bombings of Japan. Crazy events. Wow. It ended with the rise of the United States and the Soviet Union superpowers. The United Nations was formed to prevent future wars. That didn't work out too good. But good idea. Concept was there. Anyway, let's see. 1939 to 1945, so a little longer. That's almost 6 years. I guess the invasion of Poland was 39, right? And then the atomic bombs were 45. So there you go, World War II. Yep, you got it, Stuart. Anyway, so obviously that was a turning point. So now we have 2 turning points left. And in theory, these are pretty big. Now, this one might be a little hard to get from the picture, but I'll give you a shot. Now, a tense rivalry between the US and Soviet Union was the beginning, and it featured events like the space race and the Cuban Missile Crisis. No direct war was ever fought, but proxy wars occurred worldwide. So yeah, the Cold War, and then how did the Cold War end? Well, this is like a two-part answer. The Cold War and the... What? Anybody know? Turning point. What happened in 1991? Yeah, what happened in 1991, Alex? Oh yeah, the fall of the Berlin Wall was one of them. One of the things. And of course, this picture is what? Yeah, perestroika, of course. It's the fall of the Soviet Union is kind of the answer I was looking for, but yeah, all those things. And there's the boys in Moscow. Hoping they don't, hoping the revolution is real and they don't get, you know. There you go. No, okay, now the number one turning point and the most recent in history. Weird how that it's the number one and the most recent. Who knows what this is? It changed how humans communicate, work, and learn. It made information accessible in an instant. So I'm looking for the blank revolution and the not Sputnik. Oh, it kind of looks like Sputnik. I'm not really AI. I'm looking for something a little more generic. Connected people globally like never before. Continues to reshape the future of technology and society. What is this? What's the revolution? The internet is kind of the second part of the answer. The rise of the internet is the second part of the answer. But what's the first part? The blank revolution and the rise of the internet. The blank revolution and the rise of the internet. Anybody know? The digital revolution. The digital revolution and the rise of the internet. There you go. Well, so you can see when we try to branch out, it's a little harder. but yeah,